Hi, I'm Elijah Gorman. I play right tackle and I go to Hill Murray. The Prep Sports Extra starts now.
Hi everybody, welcome to Prep Sports Extra. Alongside Julia Daniels, I'm Will Hall. State quarterfinals going on all weekend. Let's punch some tickets to the bank. Starting with our spotlight game between Maple Grove and Lakeville South.
Yeah, well, Maple Grove on its state title defense tour, while Lakeville South looked to play spoiler. Let's see how things went. All right, let's pick this one up in the first quarter. Josh Thompson with the reception from Caden Harney to tie things up at 7. I know, right a dot there. Fast forward to the third quarter. Cougars already lead by 2, and Griffin Dean has a 40-yard dash. What do you think his time was, Will?
4-3.
All right, Lakeville South now leads 28-19. Same quarter, Dean again. He had an okay night. Just kidding. He had a phenomenal night tonight. 6 rushing touchdowns.
Wow.
Makes all the difference. 73 yards here, 35-19 Cougars. And to add insult to injury, Nick Swanson gets in on that long stretch scoring. Dean had 73 on the last one we showed you. Swanson with 72 here.
Wow.
42-19. Maple Grove does their best to delete that deficit, but 49-31, the Cougs are headed to the bank.
What a performance from Lakeville South. Edina and Eden Prairie in another quarterfinal. Eagles won by 22 in the regular season. Hornets strike first here. 68-yard touchdown run by Chase Bjorgard. Edina adding to their lead in the first. Future Blackhawk forward Mason West.
Man.
The 13-yard touchdown strike to Jabari Strader. Eden Prairie chipping away here in the second. Andrew Johnson up the gut makes it 14-7. Edina answers back. Bjorgard finds pay dirt for the second time tonight to make it 20-7. EP answers again. It's Johnson, second time of the night. Eagles down 6 at halftime. In the third, they take their first lead of the night. Justice Bates up the gut for the go-ahead score, but Edina answers back. Will Gremmels, the game-winning 29-yard field goal. Edina headed back to the bank. 23-21 the final.
Have a night, Will. All right, going back to last night.
Okay?
Centennial and Moorhead facing off in a 6A quarterfinal. Cougs down 7-0, but even things up thanks to Calvin Coppersmith. All-time name.
That is, all-name
there.
team.
But you know what? The Spuds offense is relentless, folks. So Jet Feeney finds Jamison Dunlap for the touchdown. Moorhead wins 35-21. The Potatoes are off to play Lakeville South at the U.S. Bank Stadium.
What a debut season in 6A for the Spuds. St. Michael Albertville facing Minnetonka in the final 6A quarterfinal. In the first is when we pick things up. This is Iowa State commit Caleb Francois. Nice spin move, able to run away with it. Now get this, it was called back due to a penalty, but it was such an incredible run, we had to show it to you. We moved to the second 7-point game. Knights go for it on fourth down, but Miles Augustine says, no soup for you. Comes up with the big stuff, and the Skippers capitalize on the turnover on downs. It's Francois, his second rushing score of the night. Minnetonka headed back to the bank, 34-7 the final.
All right, we're going back to last night again for some Class 4A quarterfinals. Totino Grace taking on Marshall. Tigers go up 14-0 on Andrew Stetler's 35-yard touchdown run. They're pretty excited there. He had all 3 of their scores on the ground last night. Eagles try to rally with this. Ben Bergen, but it's too much. Marshall wins this one 21-9.
Ben putting on the Jets right there, man. He was running away. All right, staying in 4A. Benilde St. Margaret's taking on Grand Rapids. This was all Thunderhawks and all Mason Johnson. He goes for 1, 2, 3, 4 rushing touchdowns. Grand Rapids is off to the bank. 54-7 the final.
Wow. Hill Murray going up against Casson Manorville last night. Pioneers driving late in the first half when the Comets get the interception. Keimani Bite takes it 100 yards. What do we say, Will?
Get that man an oxygen tank.
Get that man an oxygen tank. Casson Manorville wins this one 35-21.
Get him 3 oxygen tanks. 100-yard pick 6. Holy biscuits. Orono taking on Fergus Falls. You'll hear from the Spartans here in just a little bit. Orono going with some trickery here. The double pass. Dane Canwisher launches one deep to Owen Paulson. He brings it in. He's taken down at the 1. Griffin Maurer punches it in a few plays later. Orono adding to their lead in the 4th. It's Paulson on the end around, and this time he has reservations, and they're for 6 and 6 o'clock on the dot. Orono wins 36-14. They're headed back to the bank.
All right, over at Becker tonight, Monoman Waban taking on Uppsala. Swanville Thunderbirds strike Zach Zimma on the, that's a great name too.
Z squared.
That's right. Touchdown pass to Blake McMullen there. Then later on, Tanner Steck knocks through the field goal. Thunderbirds win this one 17-8. They are on to the bank.
Hot Highlights is sponsored by TrueStone Financial.
Time to reveal our final winner of Hot Highlights. Spring Lake Park and Lamare Brown take home the honors with this trick play, Juju.
Yeah, let's check this out. Brown on the trick play here takes the handoff and does a little hop, skip, and a jump into the end zone. Thanks to TrueStone Financial for partnering with us all season long, and thank you to the fans for voting.
Thank you to all of you, week in and week out, for voting. All right, coming up, we got a couple of Orono Spartans in the house to chat with us.
Yeah, we talk about that big win over Fergus Falls and their upcoming trip to the bank.
Hi, my name is Cameron. As an outside linebacker, edge, and fullback, I go to Corn Rapids High School, and you're watching Prep Sports Extra.
Andrew Backus, I play quarterback at Washburn Senior High School, and you're watching Prep Sports Extra.
Welcome back to Prep Sports Extra, fresh off their quarterfinal win over Fergus Falls last night. We have Adrian LaCursey and Wes McLean with us in studio. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Adrian, I'll start with you. You guys knock off Fergus Falls last night. You had an interception in that game. Reflecting on last night, what was the biggest key to your guys' win?
I would say physicality. Right out the gate, we had a couple trick plays right away, big plays, really set the tone. And I think it kind of just knocked the will out of them to play. And yeah, we really just set the tone from play one, and yeah.
Set the tone with your interception as well. How about
Yeah.
that? You're being humble right now.
Yeah.
Wes, we were talking before, I mean, either one of you guys can talk about this. We were talking before we came out here. You guys said something changed week 7. Walk me through what changed for you guys week 7.
We lost week 7 to Delano, and the week after that we had a practice during MEA at 6 a.m. in the morning right after our senior night. And during that practice, I feel like we realized as a team we could go all the way, and that we got to put in the effort together.
Changed the mindset for sure after that game.
Yeah, I changed it to one team, one dream rises one.
Wow, you guys have won by 2 touchdowns in every single matchup since then, right?
That's right, yeah.
How about that? Wow. Running sprints at 6 a.m. in the rain?
Yeah.
But it was worth it, right?
Yep.
100%.
To be where you guys are now, just 2 wins away from a state championship. Wes, I want to ask you, you play left tackle on offense. You also play defense, both sides of the ball. Offensively last night, you guys rushed for over 300 on the ground. Big hog molly up front. That's got to make you feel well, right?
Yeah, it was amazing, especially since Hudson Hertz, who was our RB2, stepped up in a big way. He carried us that way.
Yeah, shout out to Hudson.
Over 180 yards last night from Hudson. What have you guys, I mean, you talked about him stepping up, but what has it meant to you, and how have you guys seen his mindset change too?
Oh, he plays a big role for sure. We've had some injuries throughout the season. You know, our running back Rory, he's been out for a while, so just kind of like gives the opportunity for younger guys to step up. But for this Marshall game, we have a couple guys back from injury, so it should be good to be all healthy and ready to go.
Guys, we got just under a minute left to go here. Up next, 4A semifinals against Marshall, back at the bank for a second year in a row. You guys played them earlier this season. You lost by 1.
Yep.
How much does that motivate you this week?
Oh, it's a big motivator. You know, they say it's tough to beat a team twice, so we're coming to get them. And we've been to the bank, 3 of the last 5 years, so we're not happy just being here. We're coming to win it for sure.
I love it. I love it. Guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Best of luck this week.
Appreciate
We'll be following along, cheering for you guys, hoping that pays off.
Thank you so much.
A 4A state championship. For Julia and our fantastic crew, I'm Will signing off. We will see you same time, same place next Friday night for another edition of Prep Sports Extra.